All right, so let's take a look at Chapter 16, Classes and Objects. We defined classes and created objects that represent time and methods that modify them. Now we're going to make classes that represent geometric objects. So we're going to create a point. A point 0, 0 is x and y, and the way it works, it's like a normal graph of x and y, except y goes down instead of up. That's common, so because you print from the top down. So, all right. We can define a point, and when you initialize it, it's going to have x and y, and self of x is x, and self of y is y. You can define the string version, which will return point of x comma y. So that starts our class. Now we can create a point at 0, 0 and print it, and it says there, point of 0, 0, okay. So we can make a diagram showing what's going on here. We have a point object named start, and that has a attribute x and y, both of which are 0. All right, so now we can add a translate method, which is a way to move it over by a certain amount dx and dy. So we'll just add dx and dy to the parameters. That will move a point by a certain distance, and that's an option, that's translate. But you also might want to not modify the original object, and we work from a copy and print out the result. That's another way to go. So here we will move by 300, 0. That's another way to do it. All right, you can encapsulate them in a method called translated. So self translated by this amount will return a different point. And so now I can do start translated by 0, 150, and that will move to point 0, 150, starting at 0, 0. So now we're going to use these points to define and draw a line. So we're going to create a line object, which is going to have P1 and P2, 2 points. And what's interesting to me is it's not obvious that these are points. It doesn't seem to be specified anywhere, but you could certainly do it with one of those assert functions, at least to make sure they're actually points. So now if you call it on 2 points, start and end, it will then print an alphabetical description of it, draw a line from point 0, 0 to point 300, 0. And that's a sort of text representation of a line, but it's not a real line. So now we can, let's see what we got here. We're gonna, I think, yeah, we're just gonna, yeah, now it's gonna just explain how it looks. So we have an object called line, which contains 2 points, start and end, and each of those contains 2 parameters. So that's what it is, a object that consists of 2 other objects. All right, and so now we're going to use make turtle to actually draw these things. So jump to will jump the turtle to a location without drawing a line in the points it passes through, and move to will move to a location drawing a line between them. So you can import make turtle, jump to, and move to. And now you have a method that draws a line, which is going to draw P1x, P1y, and I see it's going to have P1 and P2. It's in line, so the P1 and P2 are defined. Okay, so that will jump to the starting point and then move to the second point. So that should work. So I'm going to make a second line that represents the y-axis from the starting location, but the second end. Okay, so it's going to increment only y, but not x. And now we can draw the axes. And so, all right. I guess I didn't get much out of that. All right. So now we're going to talk about equivalence and identity. Here's 2 points that happen to be at the same location, but they are not identical objects. You created 2 separate objects, so they're not equal. Their addresses are not the same, and you can change one without changing the other. By the way, user-created classes are always mutable. All right, so now we're going to add a method to it defining equality, and equality will be if the x's are the same and the y's are the same. That's what we're going to call equality for a point. So now P1 equals P2 will be true. So is another operator that determines that they're false. Is the one that actually sees if they're the same object, not if they're equal, and you can't override it. So that's a thing to know. But you can override it, equals. That's a fact to know. So now we're going to create a class that draws rectangles. So we're going to have self, width, height, and corner. Seems like you have more than you need. I think all you need is self, width, and height. you could specify two. Oh, we're going to consider both these. You could specify two corners, or you could specify width and height. Okay, so you don't really have to specify all these. Self-width, self-height, and self-corner. And then return a rectangle. Okay, width, height, and corner. All right, that's interesting. Now we're going to have the corner at 30, 20. And box 1 is a rectangle of 150 corner. Okay, so we have 100 wide, 50 high, and with a corner here. So the state of the object is going to be like this. We have box, which has width, height, and corner, and the corner has X and Y. So now we're going to make 4-point objects, start in the corner, then move it over by the width, move over by the height, and go back by the width and down. Okay, so those are the 4 corners of the object. Okay, so we're going to have a draw line by line. Okay, I guess you could do it that way. So now we should get a rectangle. There we go. Okay, with width and height starting at that location. Fair enough. And it includes 2 lines to represent the axes, they say, although you can't see them on the edge, so I'm not sure what value that is. Might be if I didn't have a black background, we'd see them. All right, and now we're going to try grow and translate. So you can add to rectangle to grow. You just increment the width and height. Okay. And so you can make a copy of box 1 and then make it bigger and then print it. And so we should get a bigger rectangle. Box 1 and box 2. There's box 1 and there's box 2. Okay, fair enough. Now we can do translate. That will just call the translate function on the corner, which is a point method, and that will move it over by X and Y. So we translate box 2 to the right and down. So now it starts at a different location, a different point, still has the same width and height. And now if we draw box 1 and box 2 again, all right, both rectangles moved. And the reason is because we had the same object used twice. We used copy to duplicate box 1. It copies the rectangle object, but not the sub-object point. So that's an issue. So box 1 doesn't equal box 2, but the corners are equal. So this is the kind of thing that has fouled me up many times in Python. I try to make a new object and I accidentally end up with a copy of an old object. Deliberately copying things with the copy method is the solution. So now we're going to see the state of these objects. Box 1 and box 2 are different, but the corners both point to the same object. So we can't move one without moving the other if we made them this way. That's called a shallow copy because it copies the object, but not the objects it contains. There is another function called deep copy, which will give you a completely new object. So now I start with the corner here, define box 3, and now I can make a deep copy called box 4. And now we can refer the corners are no longer referring to the same object. So now we can modify one. We're going to translate one of them by 50, 30 and grow the second one. And now we can see what happened. One of them's been moved and the other one's been grown without moving. So that's a useful lesson, which I had to learn the hard way, struggling with Python. All right, so you can do the same thing by making a list of objects, 2 lines and 2 boxes. They all provide a draw method. Oh, so we could just draw them. Okay, so for all the shapes, draw them. We can draw the lines and draw the boxes. Fair enough. Since they each have a draw method, that would be an easier way to accomplish the same thing. Okay. All right, and I think that's it for this one. So I'll stop this recording.